Good evening, lacrosse fans, and welcome to the Sackville Arena for Game 1 of the East Coast Junior Lacrosse League Finals between the Sackville Sportwheels Wolves and the Halifax Hurricanes. I'm Mitch Hannigan. I'm here with the commissioner, Brendan Smithson. Brendan, what do you expect tonight?
Well, first of all, how you doing, Mitch? It's great to be here. Back again after last year.
Absolutely.
We had a great time last year. I'm excited for this series. You know, the Hurricanes have been unbeaten all season, but I got to say the Wolves are playing their best lacrosse I've seen them play in the last 5 games, and I think these two are going to have a long physical battle here.
I couldn't agree with you more. It is definitely Sackville and Halifax have been on fire in the playoffs, and I cannot. I'm just excited. I can't even put my thoughts into words. I'm excited about tonight.
It's funny, on the drive over here, I was like, where's the weakness on either team? And I'm like, defensively, they're both strong. Offensively, they're all playing as a unit. And goaltending has been unbelievable.
For sure.
You look at all the numbers, you'd say, like, the Hurricanes are going to take this. But I'm telling you, it's all about momentum, and the Wolves are rolling right now. So I think both teams are going to come out hard.
Speaking of those numbers, Halifax won the season series 3-0. Obviously, that means nothing in the playoffs, as the Dartmouth Bandits were up on the Wolves in their season series as well. The Hurricanes beat the Wolves 10-5 on May 16th, 14-7 on June 7, and 7-4 on June 28. Of that, there is a few missing out of the...
Some big names tonight, Mitch.
For sure. Looks like Ty Jones out sick for the Hurricanes, as well as Chris Meredith with an injury, Jackson Davis with an injury, Grant Keefe, again injury, and Isaac Abbott, their leading goal scorer in the playoffs, is out at an Alberta hockey camp. That's a tough pill to swallow.
He's probably watching tonight.
It's a tough pill to swallow. I'm sure he'd rather be in the lineup.
Isaac Abbott is a big loss for this team. Jackson is a big too, but he's been out most of the year, so they've been playing without him. But Isaac's going to be a big one. So
for sure,
someone's got to step up on the Hurricane side and take that spot for sure.
We are going to get a quick break for the national anthem as well as the Mi'kmaq honor song, and we will be right back to the action after that.
Families, friends, and lacrosse fans. The Game 1 of the East Coast Junior Lacrosse League. Tonight we are proud to present the Halifax Hurricanes and your Sackville Wolves from Sportwheels. The championship finals. The Wolves Lacrosse Association recognizes the unique and enduring relationship that exists between Indigenous people and their traditional territories. Please stand for the land acknowledgement of the Mi'kmaq people, followed by the honor song. Then remain standing if you're able to, and remove your hats for the Canadian national anthem.
Prior to the singing of our national anthem, the ECJLL would like to acknowledge that the land on which we gather is the ancestral and unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people. Acknowledging that we are in Mi'kma'ki, the traditional ancestral territory of the Mi'kmaq people, is a way of showing respect for and honoring our shared history and shared treaty relationship. Our relationship based on peace and friendship. It is very important that we continue to recognize our shared history.
there you have it, folks. The national anthem, the Mi'kmaq honor song. Now we're set for the opening face-off. The usual suspects out here for Sackville in Cooper Puma, Tyler Puma, Jack Dulong, Alex Bouchard, and O'Connell. On the floor for the Hurricanes, Jack Cowan, Jack Letterick, Cutter Devine, Francis Grayson, as well as Hayden McDougall rounding out the ball team for the Hurricanes. Looks like Cowan versus Dulong here in the face-off dot.
Cowan's been strong in the draws in the first series, so you see how this turns out.
Very shifty on the offensive side of the ball, too. I like the way he moves. It's a clean win by Cowan. All over him is Dulong, though. Cowan gets to space. He'll wait for the help from the bench. Finds it in Glenn Holmes, who's been a season MVP for the Hurricanes.
Leading the league in points.
Rightfully so. The guy's an animal. Good D here from Puma and the help from Bouchard. That ball's going to get recovered by Barkhouse. Good shot there from West. That's going to get recovered by the Hurricanes and quickly transitioned. I just wanted to make sure that I had Barkhouse correct. I was messing him up with Beardsome with the Bandits there. Too many players.
Too many last names are the same in this league.
That's right. Holmes takes the shot at cage. Noah Cox with his first save of the night.
Big key's going to be stopping Holmes this series for sure for the Wolves.
100%.
Just to notice the Wolves are bringing it up. We talked about people away for the Hurricanes. I know he's watching tonight, but Jay Tishmarsh is not on the bench for the Wolves. Big loss
for the Wolves. Yeah, not having the head of the organization there, head coach Jay Tishmarsh.
Hopefully he'll be back for game 2, but unfortunately sitting this one out. Wishing you the best, Jay.
Cutter Devine gets this ball up to his offensive unit. It's going to be Francis Grayson dragging it on the left side of the floor. Gets a little pick there. Goes back up top to Allison. Allison bobbles it but continues. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Good D here from Puma. Gets the ball on the ground without taking a loose ball push. Good job there from the defensive unit of Sackville.
Both sides feeling each other out here in the early going, Mitch. They're a little slow on the O, but the D is playing really good right now.
Yeah, I love it. I think we're in for a long, exciting series for sure. Lacroix now has the ball. Goes over to Forsyth on the right side. He drops it. That's going to get picked up by Baird. Baird, 10 seconds to work. Finds help on the left side. Back up to Lacroix. Lacroix misses on the shot. Forsyth trying to get that reset shot. He misses as well, and this is going to get turned over for the Hurricanes. Holmes now quickly gets that ball from McDougall. Thought about taking it right to the hoop. Goes back up top to Lynch. Lynch gets it safely to Allison. Allison with the toe drag. Oh, and a little crippler beats Cox, but not the net as that...
I'm not actually sure what happened. There was a big swing. It looks like it's caught in his gear.
Yeah.
I think he didn't know it was there and took the big swing behind. But
exactly.
Noah was unsure on that one. He's taking all his gear off now to find it.
That's funny, though. You mentioned that. Like, as a goalie, you can feel when that ball is bouncing around your legs. And it's that desperation move of trying to
move, yeah.
You know. But I think that was just it either got lodged up in his pants or...
It seems to have gotten stuck in his pants. I've noticed no one has checked the net. Just to make sure
there we go. Finally, dislodged from the right pant leg, and Cox waves to the fans.
Wants to let him know he's all right. Wants to let him know he's all right. He has fun in that net, eh?
He does.
He's always having a good time. You got to love it. I had a good chat with him before the game. He's excited to be here and just looking forward to the series. This is his last year. It's a big one for him. He's
wants to go out the right way.
He wants to go out on top for sure.
Normando will start this up for the Wolves. His brother just competed in the Nova Scotia Senior Lacrosse League Senior Championships. The Wayne Fink Cup. Unfortunately lost that to the Halifax Hustle. Did the Halifax Fighting Orangutans. Dulong gets over top, has a little bit of space. That shot goes wide. And will be recovered by Devine. after the back over, as that did not hit any goaltender or player from the Hurricanes. Holmes beats Puma. Beautiful save there, I believe, off the left foot of Cox. Able to have that rebound picked up by the Wolves.
Cox has made 3 big saves early in this game. He's on point tonight.
Good job there by the Hurricanes to force a turnover at half. Will be picked up there by Murphy. Murphy gets it over to McDougall. McDougall will flip to Holmes and change as they get their offensive unit out on the floor. Big pick there allows Holmes to take a shot at the cage. That's going to go back over and be Sackville possession here. 11:23 left in the first period. 0-0 here. Noah Cox has been sharp early, and he's had to be, as the Hurricanes have gotten 3 beautiful attempts at cage at least.
It's a big key to the series in my mind. Is Noah's got to be on.
For sure.
He has been all playoffs. So.
Good pressure there. Dislodges the ball from Armstrong. Armstrong able to get that up to Cox. Owen Cox, not to be confused by goaltender Noah Cox.
At least they're on the same team.
Allison.
Penalty coming.
Delayed penalty here to the Wolves. Cox with the save. That's going to get recovered by Bouchard. Looks like too many men on the floor. Hate to see unforced errors like that affecting a team early.
Should also note we got 3 officials in the finals.
I like this.
So, in the past we've only had 2. We've had 2 and 1 in the box, and the Junior League has changed it up and has 3 on the floor. Looking for any of that off-ball stuff to be able to control some things going on.
Allison starts this ball up top on the power play for the Hurricanes. Goes to the lefty, and Grayson working the ball around the perimeter. Thought he was going to, I thought he was going to go over to Holmes, but he saw that opening on the short side of Cox, and he makes no mistake, as Noah Cox just left a little bit of room on the short side. And as a goaltender, that is your main responsibility.
I think Noah thought it was going across too, because he's on it there, and then he moves off on that move right there.
Exactly, and you see that.
Yeah, just down the side.
Good effort there from Grayson. And that's the thing with the passing around the perimeter. We see it so many times. You work it around the perimeter, and then all of a sudden you throw in a skip pass, and that goalie just doesn't, adjust to that movement. And you see the light
Holmes
of day.
is on the other side too, right? So leading scorer in the league, you got to make sure you're kind of leaning that way. And
Exactly.
I think he took a little half step there.
Yep, you're not wrong about that. A good win from Cowan, and he'll flip it up to Lynch. Lynch over to Grayson. Grayson finds Holmes in the middle. Holmes turned aside by Cox. That's going to get recovered by O'Connell. O'Connell has Lynch all over him, but gets some help from Normando. Good effort to get it over before the 10-second violation. And now West will settle in with 17 seconds on the shot clock. Goes up to Wheatley. Wheatley has Broussard. Goes to Broussard over the lefty. Comes over the top, has some room, shoots, and that goes wide. That's going to go back over. As finally the whistle is blown, and the Hurricanes will set up shop here on the offensive end of the floor.
Both teams having good transition. None of the pressure's been holding them up with the 10-second call. Both sides getting it up the floor well.
And I must say, the Hurricanes are the first team I've seen warming up for those situations. Getting some pressure from Coach Delano. There were some players, I'm not exactly sure who they were, but, trying to put themselves in situations they'll see in this game tonight.
That's how you get them ready for it.
Exactly. Sackville outnumbers the Hurricane in that loose ball situation. The Canes come up with it, though, as that ball gets up to Grayson. Grayson over to 19 as Allison takes the attempt at cage. And that's going to get turned over. Wheatley coming in with speed. Does not have the number situation. Takes the shot anyways. McPhee turns that around and is cocky about it for sure. Good pass up.
You're going to see a lot of that this series.
Yeah, good pass up to Grayson. People in glass houses should not throw stones, as it is easy to ignite the offensive unit of the other team. Holmes over the top of Forsyth. He'll go forced to pass to Grayson. 7 seconds here to work. Goes back to the right side in Lynch. Lynch works towards the cage. That's turned aside by Cox and recovered by Bouchard. As he jaunts his way up and over half, finds Dulong at the red line. Dulong gets it over. Looks like 14 on the shot clock. 1 is malfunctioning.
You got 10 now. 1's not moving that you're seeing.
Broussard will have to get it on cage here
We're down
early.
in the final 5 seconds of the shot clock. That's why they're yelling shoot.
Nice try by
AJ O'Connell trying to get that off there.
Fisher. Lang able to get on O'Connell's hands and disrupt that. Now Allison will bounce it to Holmes. Holmes has Cooper Puma all over him. Cooper very, very instrumental in that Dartmouth series. Big save there from Cox, turned aside as a loose ball battle almost won by the Wolves. That's going to end up in the stick of Grayson. Grayson goes all the way down to Holmes. Holmes with a big stop, Cox with a big stop on Holmes there. And that will be run up the floor by Puma. Puma over to Wheatley off the bench. That is just bobbled, but recovered by Normando. Gets it to Wheatley. Wheatley turned aside by Gage McPhee. And the Wolves outwork the Canes down low, get the ball back, and a fresh 30. Wheatley has the defender, big Hayden McDougall, all over him. Gets the ball to Muir. Muir with 20 seconds to work. Tries to shoot through traffic, gets it on cage. And that's going to get a reset and end up in the stick of Gage McPhee. He'll flip it to Letterick. Not sure if Jack Letterick and Riley Letterick, former Hurricanes, are related. Probably. Nice. Big fan of Riley. Noah Cox recovers that behind the cage. And he'll flip it to Stevenson. Stevenson back to Wheatley and finally up to Broussard at half. As Joel Broussard happy to have Mitch Broussard, brother, on the bench.
Every time I look at Joel, he's got the mannerisms of his brother.
Yeah, give him some red hair, and there's Mitchie.
When he first got the ball, I was like, did they dress Mitch? They
Forsyth with the no-angle reset shot somehow gets that on cage and recovered by Baird. Baird gets it to the lefty Broussard. 22 seconds on the shot clock. He steps into one. That goes wide, but recovered. He'll get it down to Baird. Baird, nice attempt. Tries to go around Cohen, then goes inside. That's going to get eaten up by McPhee, and he'll get it to the aforementioned Cohen, who gets it up to Holmes off the bench. Holmes has Kennedy and Glazebrook on the side. Goes to Grayson. Grayson rips one heavy, and that just misses that short side post. Recovered by Puma. He goes up. And draws the penalty, as I actually thought he was going to pull it out. And if he did, he probably would have avoided that penalty, which is probably good he didn't for the Wolves.
That was an easy call right there, right across. I was talking about Joel there and looking like his brother when he plays there. But I got to say, Joel has made a really big name for himself this year in the league and creating his own path down that, which is
100%.
awesome. But every time I look at him, he's got that come over the top. He's got that kind of Broussard thing where he comes over the top from the left side, taking that big shot. Oh, he's a dangerous player out there for sure.
And you can tell he's watched Zach Harrigan play quite a few years with that big fake shot.
The Wolves' left side has always been a strong one, right? They've always had the big shooters on the left side. No question about that.
Wheatley now up to Normando. Normando gets it to Dulong. Dulong over to Muir. Muir. That shot through traffic does not make it to the net. Up to Wheatley. Wheatley, the skip pass to Dulong. His shot does get on cage. That's recovered by goaltender Gage McPhee.
As they try to rag this here, the Hurricanes have done a great job keeping them out of the middle. It's been all outside shots from the Wolves, and it's been the strength of the Hurricanes defense all year.
Which is exactly what the Wolves D did to the Bandits in the first round. So, I mean, they're going to have to get to the ugly areas of the floor, and they're going to have to work to get there. Great double from Stevenson and Tom, able to get that ball on the ground, but recovered by Holmes.
When you got goalies as good as these two, you got to get in there. You're not going to beat them from the outside. You got to get in tight.
And I don't know how many times I've said it as a goaltender myself. If I can see that ball continuously over half, I should make the save. you have to be deceptive. You have to change the angle. You have to get that goalie to disrupt that line of vision.
Got to get them moving. Got to get them east to west and then lose their net and get those shots.
That's it. Whitford with the outside shot turned aside. Rebound recovered by Brassard. And a fresh 30-35 left on the power for the Wolves. Trying to draw this game even. Brassard steps into one that easily eaten up by McPhee. And the Hurricanes go the other way. 3:30 left in the first period. Grayson almost has the inside step on Puma. Decides to huck it down to Allison. Allison turned back by Barkhouse and gets the help from Puma. The slash puts that ball on the ground. Great job there from 11. Puma this time pulls out and waits for help. Ends up going up top to West. West coming in with speed. Oh my, a great job there. Just as we said it, finally able to get to the middle of the floor, and he makes them pay. As Tyler Puma, he's waiting, looks off Normando. Finally goes up to the righty, Alfie West. Alfie, all this time and space, a little fake there, drop the shoulder, bring it back. Boom, able to open the 5-hole of Gage McPhee and make them pay.
You know, two things that happened there. The Hurricanes have been pressing the Wolves, and they just allowed Puma to hold the ball, and then Alfie going down the middle. That's what we've been saying. You got to get down the middle, especially on Gage, and even on Noah over here. The outside shots are not going to get by them. You got to get down that middle.
And rightfully so. As a team, as a good lacrosse team, you should be confident enough to give up those outside shots with your goaltending. And it's clear these two teams are. Dulong now in the middle. Ooh, that was a tough stop there as he goes low to mid, I should say. Normando, good pressure there on the Canes, able to get it up quickly, which has been something I've very much appreciated from these Hurricanes. They move the ball quick.
Mitch, I still love the 10 seconds to get over center.
I do too. It
just moves the game so much faster, right?
Ooh, a good inside save there from Cox.
Oh, wow.
That's looks like it rolled over his shoulder.
But then it rolled behind the line there. Not over the line, but...
Luckily for Wolves fans, I thought it might have been an increased call violation or something. I did miss that. Wheatley now has this ball, a righty for the Wolves. Goes over to the left side in Brassard. Brassard, that goes wide. Recovered by Hurricanes. Devine has Bouchard all over his back, able to run that over half and flip to Allison. Allison goes back to G. Holmes. Holmes, good defense there from Puma. Able to take some valuable time. Good communication there in the switch from Puma to Bouchard. Able to get that ball. Oh, a great stick there from Barkhouse. Able to disrupt the shot from Grayson.
Excellent defense there by Barkhouse.
100%.
Block shot causes the 30. Excellent job.
I couldn't have said it any better. You're absolutely right, Smitty. Lacroix now has this ball for the Wolves as they have drawn even off that power play marker. A pass in the middle intended for Lacroix goes all the way to McPhee. And he'll quickly get that up to Lederich. Lederich, again, always seeing that first guy out of the door are the Hurricanes. Without, really forcing it in the sense of making mistakes. Good job here from Kelsey to get that ball over quickly and safely to O'Connell. O'Connell gets it to Brassard. A strong left unit here for the Wolves offense. A little pick and roll, gets the ball to Bouchard. Bouchard, trouble, gets it back to Brassard safely. 5 on the shot clock, 30 left in the period, excuse me. And that's going to be a back over with the last possession of the period or quarter going to the Hurricanes.
Got 28 seconds on the clock there.
Holmes, all over him is Puma. Gets that ball up to Jacob Kennedy. He takes the big outside shot in a reset here. 12 to work for the Hurricanes. Beautiful effort there from G. Holmes. Gets the ball to the young lefty.
Wow.
In Campbell. Campbell turned aside by a beautiful save from Cox. Good effort here in the last 30 seconds.
That was
that
beautiful
shot clock.
east to west, and still a huge save there. No, it was just right in position already. Waiting
Sometimes you just gotta shut your mouth and enjoy the action.
Oh wow,
you know?
that was amazing. So
It was.
the Wolves, started off a little slow, I thought, on the offensive side, but have really picked it up in this last 5 minutes.
And the good thing about the slow start is Noah Cox was there for them. You know what I mean? The slow start got to see, then they started to wake up late in that first quarter. It was great, and that's what you need from a goaltender. You need him to keep you in a game when you're not necessarily ready to go right off the bat.
That's why they have a fifth-year goalie in the
For sure,
right? He's been here before. He's seen this series, and he knows what it takes to play at the big level. And sometimes the team's going to get a little slow, and it's his job to step it up and keep it out. And he did an excellent job of that, and the team has rewarded him by evening it up, right? So, it's a game of runs. Usually both these teams are used to scores over 10. We're going to have a pretty low-scoring affair maybe in this series all the way through right now, the way it's looking.
Exactly. A couple player highlights here is 2021 ECJLL Rookie of the Year, Isaac Abbott, again out of the lineup for the Hurricanes. The 2022 ECJLL Scoring Championship, G. Holmes is obviously in the lineup here for the Hurricanes. Ben Allison had 7 goals, 4 assists in only 2 games for the Hurricanes, while Francis Grayson had 15 points, 5 goals, 10 assists in his role as a transition player. We've seen him mostly on the offensive side tonight.
So noting that Isaac Abbott is their leading scorer in the playoffs is not here tonight. Mm-hmm. So that's a big impact on the offense, and G and Ben are going to have to step it up a little bit. G is second and Ben is third on the team in scoring, so it's going to be interesting to see how it continues on the rest of the night.
One thing I love about G is you don't see a lot of 5-year players that distribute as well as him. Sometimes they're a little more selfish, going for that big goal, that big outside shot. G more so goes for what is needed.
It's funny because having coached against him a couple times, he's the guy when you look at the game sheet after he has 9 points, you're like, did he even touch the ball?
Yeah.
I don't remember him actually touch it. He's just a very good team player and just seems to be the guy who's always distributing and creating space for others to do their job, and then when he gets the opportunity, he takes advantage of it.
And it's no wonder he's wearing a letter. He's wearing the C for the Hurricanes.
100% with that. Mm-hmm. It's a very very balanced offense in the way both teams do. It's not G won the scoring title this year, but most people wouldn't even know that from watching them play. He's just a very balanced attack.
That is very true. 9 players on the Hurricanes' 25-man roster are actually rookies, born in the 04-05 years. There's nothing that makes me feel older than hearing rookies in the 04-05.
Makes me nervous. It sounds like a dynasty here.
4 players graduating this year, G. Holmes being one of them, Fisher Lang, as well as Hayden McDougall and Jackson Davis, as well as Isaac Abbott, again, not in the lineup, but plays hockey and lacrosse at Deerfield Academy. And he'll be playing hockey, junior A hockey in BC this fall. I actually had the opportunity a couple years ago to watch a lot of the BC Junior A Hockey League when I was living in Victoria, and it's a great hockey league. So good on him, Isaac Abbott, to crack a roster there.
That's where the WHL is. There's some solid Junior A programs that'll elevate your career as you're going, and I know Abbott is part of that.
Mm-hmm. And it's funny, we don't hear a lot of the WHL being so in the QMJHL,
exactly.
and then you got to go through the Q to get to the OHL, and then all of a sudden, but the WHL is a fantastic league as well.
I just wanted to point out something. So it's my first game with you this year, and we've been saying a lot of the Puma name. And I remember last year in the Dartmouth Sackville series, I felt it was like Tyler Puma's coming out series. It was a little bit of an unknown defender and really stepped up in that series. And it's amazing to see him and his brother playing together. So there's a dynasty of Puma coming up here in Sackville.
And Cooper Puma was away from the game of lacrosse for like the last 3 years, and all of a sudden wants to play because his brother's playing and having fun in Sackville. Like, that's incredible.
And a late round pickup by the Wolves.
Doing
some scouting on like who's available in the draft. Talked to Tyler about him and said, yeah, that's my brother and he wants to play. And the same work ethic. Like that's what comes out in that family on the floor. They just don't quit.
And if they're ever in a situation together one doesn't leave the other. It's the perfect, like you can tell the family connections run thick with the Puma brothers because they take care of each other and their teammates on the floor.
Well, you know they were passing around the backyard like every day.
For
so
sure,
they know exactly where each other's going and how they get that ball.
Exactly.
So excited to see this second here, Mitch. That first was, great. I thought the Hurricanes started off strong, and then the Wolves came back. So, again, back and forth action, getting ready for the second quarter here.
I think exactly what we expected out of that first. A little bit of feeling out and some great lacrosse. Gage McPhee waving to the Wolves fans already. I love it. Dulong and Cohen, again, set to do battle. Didn't have many draws last quarter. It's going to be a clean win by Cohen. He'll flip it almost to McDougall, but comes up with it himself. All over him is Puma and O'Connell. Cohen, good no call on that as that slash on the ground will be called.
It's interesting about Cohen, a first-round pickup by the Hurricanes here. A face-off man, and reminds me of the Hurricanes that had 4 titles in the row. One of their biggest things was special teams and face-offs. Alex Pace was there. I believe it was a Martin before that just won every draw. It's like you get double the number of chances because you're always winning the draw, and I've seen Cowan do the same in the previous series in the semifinals and now starting it here already. Mm-hmm. I know going back in the day, there were some days.
But it just goes to show anytime you can start with possession, 85% of the time you should win.
You're literally getting 2 possessions to 1 just by winning the face-off, right? And that's the way some coaches looked at it, and the Hurricanes have been doing that all year this year. They've been winning the draws, getting more possessions, which gives you double the offensive chances.
Good save early from Cox as the Wolves recover this at half. West has Armstrong all over his back, and then Lederich comes to help. 12 seconds to work, able to find Normando down low. 8 seconds here to work. Good movement around the perimeter. 4-on-4 lacrosse here as the Hurricanes actually took a penalty on their way to the power, I should say.
I missed that. Did you see that?
I didn't. I did not see that.
I wonder if it was a bench minor. There was definitely a slash on the ground there.
For sure.
That was the first call.
And then I thought cooler heads prevailed kind of thing, but maybe the bench did say something.
Officials setting the tone here early.
Actually, it looks like the Hurricanes were already short.
No, sorry, I must have missed it. Yeah,
I know. We're asleep in the booth here.
It's having a great time talking.
Exactly.
Sometimes it happens.
As Puma flips that to Whitford. Whitford with a fake little flip to Wheatley. And they're going to try a little hidden ball trick. That's going to get negated by the wise defense of Cutter Devine. Now Bouchard, had a lot of room on that far post. Rings it off of it.
He had him beat on that one.
As McPhee was moving the other way. Keep shooting Wolves, and the balls will drop. As that pass intended for Glazebrook is going to go all the way into the Wolves corner, picked up by Tom.
I'll note that's the second turnover on the transition that the Hurricanes are doing very strong. Had a little hiccup there.
Exactly, and that's the one thing you live and die by, that kind of hot heat pass.
We're
coming
back
out
to
of the bench.
5-on-5 lacrosse too, Mitch.
That we are. Normando steps into one that's turned aside by McPhee and recovered by Devine. Devine has Normando all over him. Great effort there from the press of the Wolves. And they get it to the bench in Grayson. Grayson has somebody on the right side all alone, as that shot was from Cox and saved by Cox. As he'll flip it to Normando, and Normando will safely get this over half for the Wolves. Finds Muir off the bench, and he goes down to the lefty, Joel Broussard. Broussard goes under the defender. He'll step in that crease, as that's a crease violation. Hurricanes ball. Again, up and down to the first guy out of that bench. As Allison takes that shot, that's going to end up in the leg pads of Cox. Good effort there by him to make that save and sit on the rebound.
Interesting that the Hurricanes are trying to push the play here, right? Been passing it up and going right to the net, not waiting for the setup. So obviously seeing something in the Wolves and trying to tire them out maybe.
Maybe so. That might be it. Maybe they're playing the long end.
Hey, with 30-degree weather outside, it's possible.
Right. And that's why you should use all your 30-second shot clocks. You got a goalie that's had to move 80 times in the first quarter because you're working the ball around the perimeter. That adds up in a hot rink. Good pressure here from Lacroix, forces that ball on the ground. Looks like it could be a 10-second violation. Forced to throw the ball into the stands was Lederich, into the bench of the Hurricanes. Good pressure there from Normando, or Lacroix, I should say.
Excellent pressure to cause the bad pass. The 10 seconds comes into play again.
That's exactly it. Forces you to make decisions early as West gets it over to Broussard. 18 seconds left for the Wolves. Gets it over to Wheatley. Wheatley trying to come over the top and does, but the shot goes just wide. Recovered by Wheatley with 8 seconds left to work. No shot clock or no reset. As Wheatley takes it again, that's going to hit the roof and go to the Hurricanes. Hurricanes get it over quickly and get the ball down to Dylan Campbell. Campbell tries to go back up top to Holmes. Holmes cannot handle the pass. It's going to be a Wolves recovery, I should say.
You know, in terms of the transition, Mitch, this is an interesting rink where the benches are on opposite sides where most rinks are the same, especially Spryfield, they're on the same side. Complete different dynamic when you're coming on and off the floor, picking up guys. You can see the Wolves know to go straight across the floor right away.
You're absolutely right about that. And like, honestly, in a lot of situations, usually the second guy off the bench gets the ball in transition. The first guy down the floor, second guy to the ball. But the Hurricanes especially love hitting that first guy right out as quick as possible.
Well, and where the bench is, the first guy is 3 steps from the door. And he's already in the position he would have been in that you send him in. It definitely changes the dynamic.
100%. And if they've been so good at it, it's going to start working here eventually. Holmes, strong right setup here for the Hurricanes. That ball gets dislodged but recovered. Looks like we have a penalty here.
It's on the Hurricanes. Slashing.
The Hurricanes.
It's like number 14. Is that 14?
24 there. 24. That would be Francis Grayson taking a slashing call about 130 feet away from his own net.
I'm going to say that's the third official right there, seeing a different view, because normally the bottom guy would be looking low, top guy looking high, wouldn't catch that middle one.
No, you're absolutely right. Those things get lost, and that's why I love having 3.
I'm not sure all the coaches would agree with you on that.
That's why I don't coach junior. Muir up to West. West over to Broussard. Broussard gets a pick from Normando, but goes to Muir. That ends up on the floor with the collapsing PK of the Hurricanes. They recover that. As a good effort by Cohen to recover that loose ball and get it up quickly. Number situation here. And that is why you move with speed, as Cohen almost has the number situation. Gets the ball to Holmes. Holmes takes it to the hoop. That's turned aside by Cox. Can't be recovered by the Wolves, as a loose ball push is going to get that ball back into
to the Hurricanes. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're going to try to kill off another 30 seconds here of the short man.
And a great attempt there on net by Holmes on the PK. Holmes will start this again. Tom all over him.
He's a hard guy to stop one-on-one, and then just breaks down and still has the vision to look for whoever slides to pick up that guy.
He is a smart lacrosse player.
He is very smart. Sure. See that one? He had no help, and he knew it, went by him, and found the opening.
Exactly. And he's playing with his defender out here, just eating up that time. Beautiful job there. Has a great attempt at Cage.
Just stepped in the crease there on that one, but again, vision going at the guy. Defense fell asleep for 1 second. He hits him streaking in.
And I do think Cox got a piece of that. I think he stopped that if it wasn't going to be a crease violation.
Yeah, normally they wave it off much harder if it went in, so I feel like he got a piece of that for sure.
Good movement here from the Wolves, trying to take advantage of the 25 seconds left on the power play. 8 minutes left in the second. Dulong goes up top to Normando as they work it around the perimeter, back to the lefty Normando, down to Dulong as he sees some light but goes back up top. Good movement over to Wheatley. Wheatley to Normando. Normando gets a pick from Dulong. A beautiful outside shot.
He's coming out, Mitch. We're even up right now. They can see him.
Back to 5-on-5 lacrosse. Good effort to get it up to Grayson. Grayson has Lynch in the middle. Lynch just can't handle that pass. Recovered by Barkhouse. Good pressure from Lynch trying to get that ball back. Barkhouse will flip to Brassard. Gets it over to the righty, Wheatley. Wheatley back to the lefty. Brassard steps in. That ends up in the stick of Gage McPhee. And he'll quickly get it up to his defender. Letterick. Back over. Great
Stepped
job
on the line there. That's back over.
You cannot make decisions at half like that. You can't ride that line because, like we've said, that 10 seconds over and back over calls, new to the ECJLL, are forcing them to make decisions quicker.
Maurice gets right on the line, saw that immediately. Perfectly timed by the defender.
Exactly.
Just waited till both over right along it, hit him, had to step back.
Big outside shot from Forsyth goes wide, but Normando able to recover and rip that bottom corner back out for the Wolves. We're going to get a second look here as that ball hits the end boards. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Normando has a little bit of room. I've noticed Gage McPhee giving up a little bit of that short side, and I think Normando saw the same thing. As a great effort there to go back to that short side post from number 8. And the Wolves has their first lead of the finals. 2-1 here, 6:36 left in the second quarter.
Gage definitely took a step more to the outside there and expecting it to go that way, but definitely picked it up and moved it on the inside. Great shot by Normando.
50-50 ball off the draw, recovered by Puma. He gets it up to Dulong. Dulong goes over the top, that just wide, but recovered by Bouchard. Great effort there from the Wolves captain. Brassard now drags low, tries to flip to Bouchard. And that is going to get transitioned up cleanly by the Hurricanes. Armstrong has pressure from Tom. He'll flip it to G. Holmes. Holmes trying to go to work with 15 seconds left to work. Has nobody low. Goes over the top. Ooh, beautiful save there.
Wow.
From the right elbow of Noah Cox. Allison now with the ball on the left side. And when I say left side, I just mean he's a lefty. His side of the floor.
Strong side right now.
That's right. Now with Grayson doing some work, met by Puma. Gets it down low to Allison. 10 seconds here to work for the Hurricanes. Back up top. That shot eaten up by Noah Cox. No rebound as he sits it down for Bouchard. Bouchard will go to the bench and has help in the most recent goal scorer, Normando. As Normando drags the ball up top, goes to the righty in Whitford. Whitford looking for a streaking Lacroix, but that is bobbled. Looks like a minor interference call from the Wolves. That's going to go to the Hurricanes.
I got to say, I don't know if there's a more trusted person to bring the ball up the floor than Bouchard.
Yeah.
If there was a game 5 last minute, I need to bring it up. That's what I'm calling it out there.
Like, that's the thing is you can. Alex Bouchard is not a flashy lacrosse player by any means, but he just does everything so
Every
well.
basic mechanics. Oh, huge hit.
Huge hit there as Stevenson comes over and has words for Grayson. As I do believe that was a little bit of Normando slipping and also meeting the right shoulder of Francis Grayson.
I think you're right. It was a little bit of a slip there, and then he was just in the right timing.
As that big shot from Kennedy goes wide, Stevenson, and good job by Stevenson to immediately come over and not take a penalty but stick up for his teammate.
Exactly. You can't take those 2 minutes right now. It's a 2-1 game.
Exactly, but you still need to send that message,
Exactly.
which, I think Stevenson did a great job of doing. Dulong now with the ball in the middle, met by 2 defenders, drags that all the way around the net, back to his right side, gets a pick from Whitford, and a big outside shot again hits the stick of McPhee. That's going to get recovered by the Wolves, hoping to get a higher percentage shot off than the last one.
Big bang you heard, I think, was Normando. A little.
But as Dulong rips a beautiful bouncer I agree with you, Smitty. I'm not exactly sure what had them jacked up there, but here we see Dulong setting that hard pick for Wheatley. Then Wheatley goes back to Dulong. Dulong again going short side on McPhee.
I think the Wolves might have found something there. That's the second time from the top. He's played a little to the outside, and they've got him short side.
I think Coach Jay Titchmarsh is texting somebody on the bench after watching the stream. I think
he's been listening to us out there.
That's right. He's got
sent
the
a message
Belichick
to the bench.
headset.
Somebody ran over to the bench and said, "You got to shoot short side." We're seeing it up there.
Great loose ball recovered by Puma. As all over him are the defense of the Hurricanes. Great job to force the recovery and get that ball up to McDougall. McDougall, the big defender in his last year, is robbed by Clocks. And he's going to run through the crease in the direction of that ball. We have a Wolves turnover. As the chirps.
I don't think the Wolves like the little nudge there.
No, exactly.
The Hurricane's trying to get under his skin. I can
you
see
gotta.
that. He's played unbelievable.
Wheatley goes down to Muir. Muir has been dangerous inside as he rolls and gets an attempt on Cage, turned aside by McPhee. And the Hurricanes start the attack the other way. As the crowd responds to Dulong's goal announcement.
The shot clock not working again, Mitch. They only got 14 seconds left.
Right now 10. A big shot goes wide, actually hits Stevenson behind the net. He eats it well, and that's going to be a back in, as apparently that hit Stevenson went out and was jaunted back in, as Tyler Puma is not giving G. Holmes much time to breathe, even when the clock is, or the ball is not in play. Good job here from Allison to get room over the top. That is turned aside by Cox as he eats up the rebound.
He is literally reading as they're shooting and just picking it right out. He's there before the ball's there.
A man determined, that is for sure. Brassard turns aside, or turns back and waits for his unit in Whitford and Bouchard, Bayard and Forsyth. Little bump there, no call as they let them battle for the loose ball in the corner. Hurricanes come out of that as Murphy is turned back by Forsyth. Does get it over to Cohen. Cohen, not much room to work. Puma forcing him back over half. That should have been a back over call, and it is. Good effort there. That's why you can't make those decisions at half. You got to get a guy deeper than that and then get the pass.
They're bringing it up, but they're getting caught in the middle. The Wolves are almost setting a trap there right at the line and doing a great job.
Well, you give a team just enough room to kind of, tie themselves up, if you will. Good job there from Lacroix to stay out of the crease. 25 seconds here to work for the offensive unit of the Wolves. Brassard finds Whitford in the middle. He can't come up with the pass. West recovers in the corner. Comes over the top. That is a shot in the center of mass. McPhee eats it up
Hit
easily.
the logo. Hit
That's
the logo.
it. I used to call them the old fridge door saves. Good job.
Open the hole there in the middle, right?
That's right. Cohen gets the ball to Holmes. Holmes, 15 seconds of work. Last minute of play in the second quarter. As that ball will go off of a Hurricane and out.
I don't think that went off anybody. He just missed the net,
Yeah.
came right out of bounds, so it's going to go to the Wolves.
Exactly. That Puma starts early. Did not see it. Gets the ball back to Normando. Normando turned aside by the left shoulder of McPhee. Great save there late in the quarter. 35 seconds left to work. Both teams have their timeout this half. Oh, and that's going to be a late penalty to Puma for the slash, I believe.
High stick is what they're calling.
Is that what they're
I
calling?
think it could have been slash or high stick. They picked
Fair
the high
enough,
stick
fair
one.
enough.
It's Chris Susi making the call, who I'm a little surprised he's here tonight after getting that big trophy. I thought he carried in the rink with him tonight.
Exactly. I'm sure there was a breathalyzer before because they were out celebrating. Now, I know Susi had to work today, so his celebrations were a little short. But some of those boys definitely had fun with the Fink Cup last night. But that's okay. You're allowed to do that in senior.
We got a timeout here, and they're actually running the clocks. I don't know if anybody's noticed that they just lost 4 seconds. We'll see if anybody realizes that it ran down. But yeah, it was just I don't know if we had mentioned that the Fink Cup is the Nova Scotia Senior Lacrosse League, which you're the commissioner of.
Yes.
Had their best of 5 series go to Game 4 last night, and the Halifax Hustle took the title for the first time.
Yeah, very excited for the Hustle. KJ McNeil, Nick Mulligan, Chris Susi, Ian McShane, huge parts of that team. Zach Kerrigan, the former Sackville Sportswheels Wolves standout, was the MVP for the Halifax Hustle. And you know, he not only was he the MVP, he's competing against guys he just played 5 years with. As you know, Mitch Broussard was on the other side of that. And that's the thing I love about senior, is because in junior you have these kids. These kids would die for their Wolves teammates. They would die for their Hurricanes teammates. But then all of a sudden they turn 21 and they're playing the highest level of lacrosse they can with these people that they just competed with. You know what I mean? And it's really like that iron sharpens iron, because all these kids end up wearing a Nova Scotia jersey. You know what I mean?
100%. And, you know, in terms of senior, to what you're talking about, there is no affiliation, so everybody's redrafted. We got 25 seconds here. Called a timeout. Left Gage in the net. I'm a little surprised.
I know. I thought they would pull here, as that's going to get recovered by the Wolves as the shot goes off.
And clearly they knew something we didn't, because they were taking the early shot, which is why they left him in there.
Gets the ball up to Puma. 7 seconds here left in the half, as that ball's put on the ground and recovered by the Canes. Good job by, I believe that was Grayson, to get it up quickly to Glazebrook, but Jess runs out of time. And there you have it. The first half is over in Game 1 of the Garnet Knight Memorial Finals. The hometown Sackville Sportswheels Wolves are up 3-1. Excuse me.
Jeez, we're only on Game 1 here, Mitch. You're already jumping to Game 4, right?
That's because we just talked about the Hustle there.
He was thinking of the series in the Senior League. But interesting there in that, you know, a timeout called by the Halifax Hurricanes. I was assured the shot was going to go to Holmes after what he's done all season, and kind of felt an early shot there. But then interesting to reply on that, no timeout called by the Wolves when they had one left. I wondered if, Coach Jay not being on the bench had an impact on that and didn't realize that they can't carry the timeout over, and you had nothing to lose in using it. There wasn't really a rush there, but you could have got your 5 guys on. And
I couldn't agree with you more. I expected it, especially when Cooper Puma curled back and looked at the bench. It almost looked like he was looking, am I calling a timeout kind of thing? So, and then he doesn't see anything. He's not going to make the call, a young kid like that, you know, whereas a kid like Bouchard probably would have made the call himself. You know what I mean?
Exactly. The difference between a first and a fourth-year player, right? Huge
Exactly.
difference with that. So, I mean, it's a big thing. You know, as we were talking about there, you were talking about how these players play 5 years together in junior and then play differently in senior. And just to note that there is no affiliation between teams, between junior and senior. It's one of the exciting parts about senior is it's a complete open draft, which allows, you know, that spreading of players and talent all over the league and playing against people that you used to play against and then playing against them. So the season is, I always find in senior, the season is completely different from the playoffs, because it almost takes all season to gel, because you got a bunch of guys you've not played with, and it's like, all right, so I didn't like you before, and now we're buddies. All right, so it takes about 12 games to get it around that we're good now, and then the playoffs is it's just such a different story in senior. It's been very exciting the last couple of years, and you guys were streaming this year, which was awesome.
Yeah, thanks. A big shout out to Tanner McDonald for doing that for us and doing these games here. But I think that it's 2022. You have a great product that people will enjoy. Why not stream it for them? So it's huge, and obviously we get to dry run some things in junior, which makes it easier for us, which is great. So
well, and I mean it's. We're trying to get our game out farther than just here, and it's great to be able to, we've learned that as people grow up out of junior and senior, that some of them move across the country and still connected to that team that they played with or that senior team and want to watch. And, we're getting, I know I'm, as commissioner, getting comments all the time about, like, are you going to stream those games? Love to watch those, hearing comments of things they saw on the ones that are streamed. And so it's just really great to see people across the country checking in on players, and it's just awesome to see. So I'm really glad we got to do this, and Tanner has done an excellent job in all those games. I got to watch the senior ones as well. I only got to watch 2 because I was reffing all the other ones, so it seemed to get called. But also, I want to note last night, We had the first ever Junior A female finals here last night, which finished best of 3 series. The Halifax Hurricanes taking down the Sackville Wolves in 2 games. You want to talk about dominant defense. The Halifax Hurricanes did not let up a single goal in that series. So it was a 4-team league this year. Second and third played off while first got a bye, and the Hurricanes took advantage of that. So the Hurricanes took home the East Coast Cup last night in a great celebration. First time we've had Junior A female lacrosse in Nova Scotia. I think it was a huge success.
A huge success, exciting. It warms my cold, cold heart to see that, the female game is getting the representation that they deserve. And I don't think that there was one person that saw an ECJLL women's game or female game, that came out of it saying this isn't awesome. You know what I mean? They loved it. Everybody seemed to love it.
It's funny, Mitch, when the league was coming together, there's, always, something new. Everybody's like, is this the right idea? Is this the right time? The females actually use the same rules as the males with the 10-second, the over and back. Some concern of maybe they're not able to do that. I'm telling you, that game was as fast as this game going right here. And I'll say, the place last night was packed.
I saw
on
that.
both
I saw the
sides.
clips on that.
I was
awesome.
like, wow, there is a lot of people excited about female lacrosse, and you could see all the future stars in the stands coming up to players after the game. There was it was in Sackville, so there was a lot of Wolves players who were just lining the tunnel as they came out, even after a loss, and obviously a tough one. But you could see, it means something to the girls. They're trailblazers. I think all of them in last night and what they did.
That's a great, a proper word, trailblazers, because I don't know how many times that we've heard from American NCAA field coaches, oh, get me a box kid, get me a kid that knows how to deal with traffic, get me a kid that knows how to deal in these confined spaces. All these females playing in this ECJLL league are going to be that much more, recruitable. You know what I mean? Because it is definitely a different game, the women's field side. But these kids are getting a great experience, you know what I mean? And it's going, you can see
in a long time.
I have to string 2 sticks for 2 goalies, 1 male, 1 female going up there. Aiden Doyle and Michaela McDonald. I got to get those sticks done and ready.
Okay, so you got to focus on the female stick first, Michaela's, because they are first in the first week. Ooh. And the males are the second week. So I just want to make sure I remind you of that if you try to do them at the same time, one will be without a stick, and we don't want to have that happen.
I do not want that to happen.
Lucky for me, I'm getting to be up there for the second week, so I'm going to be able to see some of the games. Yeah.
I'm still. I may make a trek up there. Niagara's a second home to me, and I would love to get up there and see that new facility, especially to see some old friends as well.
Those Brock Badgers are always on the way home.
Gotta love them.
Connor Aquano, Alex Pace, Mitch Hannigan, all coming back home for the Canada games. Yeah.
Oh, those boys had better careers than I, that's for sure.
Well, I get to go up there because obviously in 2023 we're hosting the North American Indigenous Games here, and so part of that is checking in on what the Canada Games are doing and how we can build on that.
Super excited for the NAG Games to come here as well. That's going to be a great opportunity for our Indigenous athletes as Cohen and O'Connell take the draw. O'Connell's first draw of the night. That's going to get a violation and Wolves possession.
Mitch, I'm interested to see how the Hurricanes are going to reply here. I think it's the first time they've been down in the second half in quite some time.
I was going to say unbeaten in the regular season. A lone tie. Wheatley comes over the top, has some room, looks back. Good pressure there from McDougall as he's picked hard by Dulong. And Wheatley able to take advantage of that, but cannot beat keeper McPhee. You know, you always like to set the tone early. It would be very, very impressive for the Wolves to take game 1 here.
100%. Normally game 1 would actually be in Spryfield, but we're unable to secure the rink, so the next 2 will be in Spryfield. So I think the Wolves really need this one. They don't want to go into enemy territory with 2 games in the series on the line. So.
And it's funny you say that. I had a coach that lived and died by saying in the playoffs that you're not in trouble till you lose a game at home in the playoffs. So Pierre Morissette, I know you're not watching because you're in Singapore, but I have always took that to heart. He was my billet parent out in Montreal.
Mitch, you never know. We might be watching.
To be honest, I still call his wife Manon every Mother's Day. She's an angel.
There you go.
So
if he's on your Twitter, we tweeted at you. So
I don't think he knows what Twitter is, my friend. Good recovery here from the Hurricanes. As the penalty to the Wolves, Tom expires. Back to 5-on-5 lacrosse. Usually we take a break and rest the vocal cords during the intermission, but it was just too much fun talking to you the whole time.
I don't think we've ever taken a break when we've done this. We've always talked.
I have to when it's just me. I get tired of my own voice, let alone these people listening.
Well, if you remember last year we were here in the final, and they'd done streaming all year, and he's like, all right, I'll just take a break at half. We're like, no, just keep it going. We're good.
We have enough to talk about, I'm sure. Wheatley dragging this ball down with 12 seconds to work, goes back up to Lacroix. Lacroix, 10 seconds here, goes to West. West down to Wheatley. Goes back to the left side to Bouchard. Now Whitford. Whitford with the inside roll. Can't do anything with it as that's going to get turned over after the shot clock violation.
Defenses are still the strongest part of this game right now. Defensive goaltending just standing on their head right now. It's unbelievable.
Yep, agreed.
I feel like I'm seeing a pitching duel here between the 2 teams. Huge outside shot.
That's going to hit the mesh up top.
That must have hit the boards and gone up.
It did, yes. Down, yeah, absolutely. Barkhouse flips it to Forsyth. Forsyth waits for the rest of his offensive unit here on the floor. Finds a sneaking Normando. Normando tried to go short side on McPhee, even though he had all that on the far side. It happened quickly. Good job by Forsyth to turn back, almost forcing another back over. As that's going to go off of the stick of Stevenson, somehow stays in the barn. And Normando will get it over half. Not able to pick it up, but able to smack it back. And that's not going to be a back over, probably because there wasn't possession.
In terms of that, is if the Wolves hit it over, then it isn't a back over. So because they directed it over, and then the Hurricanes directed it back over. So again, it's because the other team directed it. That's why it's not back over.
Awesome. Thank you, Smitty, for the ref analysis.
Been a ref too long, buddy.
Over to Forsyth goes Broussard. He steps into that. That's turned aside. Rebound recovered by McDougall.
A good man once told me you volunteer long enough till you become an enemy.
That's exactly
That was
right.
a quote from Mitch Hannigan when he started reffing.
It's true. That didn't last long, thankfully, for the players. Puma able to recover here at half. Wisely waits for help. Gets it into the steady hands of the captain, Bouchard, who goes down to Wheatley. Waits for that last lefty in Dulong to get out. Dulong down to Muir. That's bobbled, but recovered by Dulong. 10 seconds here to work. Oh, a good stick there from Letterick. Active stick on the D side is all you need. And that's going to go over half. And the Hurricanes will get possession here.
Been a fast-moving game, not a lot of.
I know.
It's very quick.
Not a lot of whistles, not a lot of draws. Francis Grayson goes back to the right side. And Kennedy gets it to Allison. Allison has Bouchard all over him, but gets the ball to Grayson. Grayson able to find the back of the net.
Wow, what a play by Allison. On his back, on his stomach, rolling it forward on the pick and roll.
And some mean defense here from Bouchard. He worked for that, did Allison, as that's a big slash there. Good cross check, another slash there, another one. And he just, as he's going down, gets that flick over to Grayson.
Interesting there that Kelsey, they had switched and then thought the ball was loose, so turned up, which allowed Grayson to be open on the crease.
Almost thought he was coming for the double.
It seemed like it, but he didn't actually double, and then he didn't, I thought he had enough room to block it over, but Allison on the ground gets it over. That was huge.
Good loose ball recovery here from Puma off the draw. Not sure if
I think that might have been a push-off there.
Push-off. Did not catch the call there. Grayson has this on the left side of the floor for the Hurricanes. Goes all the way over to the righty G. Holmes battling over top of Puma. Trying the behind-the-back pass down to his crease guy. That's beautiful pick up by O'Connell. As O'Connell and Puma have a miscommunication at the half, resulting in a turnover to the Hurricanes. As Cutter Devine able to get that up to Holmes. Holmes over the top, 20 to work for the Hurricanes. A nice little pass down to the righty helping. He comes over the top, does Kennedy. That's disrupted by the defense of the Wolves and recovered by Tom. Good effort there from the D of the Wolves.
The Hurricanes trying to do that over the top and hopefully get some rebounds inside right now.
Bouchard now on the offensive end, gets a pick for Whitford, goes to Wheatley. Wheatley steps into that. That's turned aside by McPhee. But
I think McPhee has found the short side he needs to cover.
Exactly, that's it. And sometimes it's just about finding something to line up your angles with in the rink. West over to Whitford. Whitford steps into one. That goes 5-hole. As I believe able to turn the stick of McPhee. And this right here will show you why I hate Warrior Wall goalie sticks.
I was waiting for that comment.
Thank you. Kids, get yourself a Woody. As we see it, turn in his hand. And that does not necessarily happen in on a Woody. But those Warrior Wall sticks often have a tendency to turn in a goaltender's hand.
They're almost made to turn because of the passing and having that whip to it. But when you get that shot that's not dead on, it just spins in your hand.
One thing that I've seen a lot of goaltenders do recently, actually, is cut the Warrior Wall because it won't sit flat on the floor as manufactured. And they'll just take that angle off. Not sure it's legal, but I've definitely seen goalies
We'll say it's definitely not legal because you're not allowed to adjust any piece of equipment. But we're not going to say who's wearing that right now.
Dulong checks.
Big hit there.
Grayson into the boards to dislodge that ball. A 4-2 ball game here with 8 minutes left in the third period. Quarter, exactly.
We got one more to go, Mitch. I know it's hot.
That's right. I'm so used to senior now, going back and forth with the rules. That's going to be a back over.
Maybe seniors should just do 4 quarters.
We proposed it, and I will say that the only team to shut it down is the team that won. So I guess they knew something we didn't. Oh, nice job there from Kennedy to split the defense, but a beautiful save off the left arm of Cox. Wheatley able to get it safely up to Bouchard. Bouchard over to West. 7.5 here to work in the quarter. Ryland Baird gets it over to Lacroix. Lacroix down to the captain, Bouchard. Bouchard up to West. He finally takes the shot on Cage. That's going to hit McPhee and go all the way back. Hurricanes D does look tired as McDougall's shaking his head. Thought he could change.
Thought it was an over and back, but because it's off the goalie, it's not.
I'd be lining up against him if I saw a D guy do that.
I would have just literally called an ISO right there. He 100%. Was done. Even getting off, he's struggling right now.
Exactly. You never want to give that offensive unit any sign of weakness, to be honest, because they're like a dog on a bone looking for that easy. Looks like Allison was chopped in the unmentionables. Maybe that's why you should wear a cup. Oh my, Glenn Holmes with the big outside shot off the roll.
He was saying he does wear a cup. That's why.
Oh, yeah, he was just checking on them, was he? Good job here. Good pick. Allows a double pick there as Puma just gets enough room for Glenn Holmes to take that shot. Can't allow him to get his hands free because he does things like that.
This is the time where you're down 4-2, you need a big goal, and who do you go to?
Exactly.
Go to G. Holmes. You got to find to get him open. Puma has done an unbelievable job on him tonight.
You're absolutely right, but then it goes back to we talked about Dulon. Beautiful cross check there on Fisher Lang. Wheatley gets the ball back. Oh, Jess misses wide. Again, the confidence, let's call it, of Gage McPhee comes through.
One of these times, someone's going to put it at the scoreboard right now. But
Holmes, had Grayson all alone on that left side. Jess misses the pass as Wheatley and Normando go the other way with numbers. Spreads out the Hurricanes. Normando takes.
I think Normando was trying to put it through him on that one.
Yeah, I would have to say that was a crease crank if I've ever seen one. And I mentioned that earlier in the Bandits Hurricane season or Bandits Wolves series that Allison had Cox thinking far post, goes short side. Good job.
Let's watch this again. But I think he was going far post, and the hit moved him over to the inside.
Very well could have happened. Maybe I'm giving him a little too much credit. As Allison one-on-one with Barkhouse. You're absolutely right. It almost keeps carrying him over.
The hit adjusts him to move his stick inwards because Noah had read it perfectly, and then I think the hit moved him inside, which caused the stick to float in a little bit and almost readjust the shot. But 2 quick goals by the Hurricanes, getting it 4-4 again, right? Like there's the one thing I'll say about the Hurricanes all season, they give you a full 60 minutes.
Yeah.
You have to match their energy throughout the game. There's no question about it. And they're right back in this one again.
Wolves need to cauterize the wounds that the Hurricanes have opened here, as that's going to go off of a Millwood 2002 provincial championship.
Gage right now is loving that, right? He made a huge save there, and I made that one. That's right.
Confidence is key.
Yeah, especially when you're in that net. You have to have that confidence, or it's just going to be a tough one.
You're absolutely right. Delayed penalty here for the Hurricanes as Whitford sneaks below GLE. Goes back to Muir. as Muir rings one off the post. And the Wolves will now have
in front. Stop the play there.
Power play opportunity here.
Too many men is what they're calling here.
Looks like Matt Savage will serve this for the Hurricanes.
I didn't see the 6th person come on.
I didn't. I missed that one as well. Yeah.
With the third official, they're very tight on the changes. So you have to be right in the box. Any cheating a little bit, they're gonna call it. That's why the back guy can lay back a little bit farther be able to watch that. So we've had too many men calls today.
And the one thing is like adding the third man has not increased penalties.
Nope.
It's just made like the evident ones being caught better. You know what I mean?
I think.
Ooh, the quick east-west pass from Dulong to Muir is turned aside. 1 minute 40 seconds left on the power. Dulong down to Bouchard as they pass around the perimeter up to Normando. Now to Wheatley. Wheatley. Good stop there from McPhee. And I definitely think it's the righties that see a little bit more of that short side than the lefties. As the quick pass up to Holmes. Holmes tries the same thing and fake that hard fake to that.
I think he had him. He just missed the net from that one.
Exactly. One of the hardest things for young goalies is to not bite on a fake. You know what I mean? All your you
have to move something. It's just you don't want to move too much, right?
But that's the thing is like if you don't react, they just start burying.
Exactly.
You do react, they start baiting you. So it's that you got to respond properly, so to speak. You know what I mean?
And in terms of Noah tonight, he's actually almost been ahead of the shot, and I wonder if he's getting a little too antsy on it. And when they're getting that fakes, it's opening up a little bit. We'll see. It might have just been that one, but we'll see.
Great job there by Alex Bouchard to get that ball on the floor off of the slash on G. Holmes. All stick on that one. Give the power play a last opportunity here. 30 seconds on the power, 20 on the shot. Whitford and Broussard play catch on the left side. Broussard steps in, goes to the righty West. West goes down to Baird. Back up top to West. Some movement here on the left side. The outside shot turned aside. Good save there from McPhee. Recovered by Broussard. As the penalty to the Hurricanes expires now. West steps into one. That goes wide. And that's going to be an over and back, even though I did think it hit a player. Not getting
the referees did not agree with you on that one.
They did not. And I do, I don't think it was super obvious or anything, but I did think that it hit a player.
Let's see how the Hurricanes respond after that, killing that penalty off.
Kennedy. He's met by Tom, goes to the lefty in Grayson. Grayson cannot handle the pass. Allison able to get it before half. 14 here on the shot. He goes down to Campbell. Campbell dragging the ball up late in the shot clock. Goes to Grayson. Grayson finds a righty in Lynch. Lynch takes the attempt on Cage. They will. A good call, actually, on a loose ball push.
Yep, they gave the reset there and battle in front on the minor interference to give the ball there.
Puma jaunts this up. Thought about flipping to Bouchard, but goes to Dulong. And he'll get it to the lefty Bouchard. 2 minutes left in the third quarter here. An exciting third quarter.
Which I think is exactly what we expected. 4-4 game, low scoring, tough at both ends, great action. Very few whistles. It's been end to end.
Yeah, fantastic game of lacrosse through three.
The officials have done a great job letting them play and letting go out this one.
Yeah. And that's what these athletes want. They want to be able to play lacrosse, play mean lacrosse. And, as long as nobody's getting hurt, nobody's taking advantage of people, I love when the refs put the whistles away. Bouchard.
It's part of putting the official away, but I think these two are just, they're here to play lacrosse. They're here to get a W, right?
Exactly.
Like, that's what they're all about. You said about the no retaliation, made a statement, but I'm not going to retaliate because they both want to win. They know how key this game one is, right?
For sure, and I think that they both know they're in for a long haul either way. You're going to need your big guns.
Well, let's just say we booked 5 games.
Yeah.
There's a reason for that.
That's right. Wheatley able to beat one Hurricane, is met by another one. As that ball ends up in the corner, Hurricanes outnumbering the Wolves there 3-2 in the loose ball battle. And a good hack there by Wheatley. Able to recover that ball for the Hurricanes was Dulong. Need a shot here as that ends up in the corner.
I think you meant a shot on net.
Yeah,
That was definitely He took a shot. It was just a little outside.
A little...
Wild thing, just a little outside.
Oh my, Major League. These kids have never seen that movie, I'm sure.
But everyone watching knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Big Charlie Sheen fan as Barkhouse is moving up, has Puma 2-on-2 situation. Good job by Barkhouse to wait for the help. Gets it over to O'Connell. O'Connell steps into one. That goes wide. 15 on the shot clock.
1 second left. That's it.
Exactly. As the third quarter comes to a draw, we are locked at 4 as the hometown Sackville Sportwheels are locked at 4 with the visiting Halifax Hurricanes lacrosse club.
I was going to say, what a great action here tonight. I didn't expect anything less than a big one here. So 4-4. Is that Mr. Kerrigan there?
It is Mr.
MVP coming over and having a talk with the Wolves about what they need to do here?
You know, Coach Titchmarsh told me something pretty important in the Game 3 of the Bandits Wolves series. Kerrigan actually went in and reminded these kids on the Wolves that, you know, the job's not done. The Bandits were down 2 games to the Hurricanes a couple years ago, came back to win that series, win the championship.
It's funny you say that, though. I was actually going to mention that I think the last 5-game series was the Hurricanes and Bandits. This is the last time where the Hurricanes went up 2-0 and the Bandits fought all the way back to win 3 in a row to take it.
Exactly, and I'm sure Kerrigan is down there giving them words of advice, met by, less than 24 hours ago, the person he was competing against, Mitch Broussard,
He's on the bench with him.
are so involved in this team. Ben McKay, another huge guy involved in this team, he plays for the Twin City Arrows of the Senior League. So it's funny, you know, we're a melting pot in senior for sure.
Well, it's interesting here. You got Mitch, you got Jay, you got Ben McKay helping out. So it's great to see those people who have moved on. But you also have a Wolf on the other side, Delano on the Hurricane side over there. So
exactly,
you know, a lot of the Wolves giving back. It's great to see that younger generation coming up and wanting to get involved at this level. Junior is a big commitment. Like it's not just a couple games. You can be there. Sometimes you can't. I mean, you got to be every practice, and every practice is fully intense. It's not, you don't have 6 people showing up at times. It's your whole 20s there, and you got to be ready to go. Every week matters.
And like that's the thing. As a coach, you have a responsibility to give this kid 2 hours of instruction, and you you need to actually give that to those kids. Like, I mean, they're not going to show up. They're not going to run through a wall for you if they show up to a 2-hour shooting practice.
Oh, exactly. And you're preparing for 2 games. It's usually 1 practice to 2 games a week. So it's not like you're preparing for 1 game. You're actually preparing for 2. The playoffs is the only time that your practice is literally preparing for the team that you know you're playing against. And, of course, these guys had a 5-day window of a break where I'm sure both of them got a practice in to be able to prepare for this. But still, it's a back-and-forth battle with these two. It's interesting to see the scores from the regular season and where we're at now. As we said, both teams were on a roll going into this, and they're both playing hard and playing their heart out on this one.
I couldn't agree with you more. I expected this for the first half, and then I expected somebody to take advantage maybe, but it's just not seeing it. It's still tight. It's back and forth.
Well, it looked like the Wolves there for a second were going to take advantage. They found some holes and got up 4-2, but the Hurricanes responded quickly, right? I think both coaching staffs have got them motivated and focused on what they need to do. They have that job. I mean, the Wolves have been here the last 2 years and know the feeling of going home without this. The Hurricanes have lost to the Wolves the last 2 years and know that feeling. So everybody in this building knows the feeling of not taking this and knows what a key game 1 is to take. The Wolves need 1 at home, and the Hurricanes want to take 1 at home so they can go back and be able to take 2 and possibly look at taking it is what they're looking at. Now that we're in this 4-4 situation, we might want to remind viewers we do have overtime when this happens. So, in terms of overtime, it's a little bit different than you would see in the NLL. So they would stay at the same ends that they were in the fourth quarter, and they would play a full 10-minute period. As many goals can be scored. Yeah, exactly. And as many goals can be scored as possible is how it works. And then after that, they would actually switch ends, and then they would play another 15-minute quarter, and that would be sudden death. An interesting point to this is you do not have a timeout in overtime unless you have not used it in the second half. It carries over into overtime. So interesting enough, if you're in the last minute and you're tied up and you use that timeout in the last 30 seconds, you then don't have one in overtime. So if we look what happened at the end of the half, the Hurricanes called theirs, which meant they would have had none in overtime, but the Wolves didn't. which would have meant they got to carry one over. So it's kind of an interesting piece. I always find the full overtime interesting to me because this happened a couple years ago between these two, and the Wolves actually scored first, and I was sitting in the Wolves section, and the whole place went bananas.
Yeah, exactly.
And they were like, why are we not getting off? And I'm like, well, they got another quarter, and the Hurricanes came back and tied it up, and then won it in sudden death overtime. But it's interesting for the fans to always know that we're going a full 10 minutes here, and it's not the first goal wins.
And it's funny you say that. I was just about to say, I bet you not all coaches have that in their back pocket of knowing that their timeout carries over. But it just goes to show you that there's still learning to be done by fans and coaches here.
And it's interesting that you tell the coaches before the game is officials, they meet with them 10 minutes before the game and tell them the setup and what happens in overtime. But when you're in the last minute of a game at 4-4, you don't remember what that guy told you.
Tend to forget those conversations. Yeah, exactly.
You're like, I just need a goal right now, and then we're good.
Yeah, I can read the coach's lips. We ain't going to overtime.
Yeah, that's right. I had that in the first the game between the Breakers and the Wolves in the female, and they kind of gave me that we're not going overtime. And the final was 4-3 with 2 breakaways and the team down in the last minute to try to win it. And I was like, wow, that was
karma.
We kind of you guys said no, and almost happened there.
O'Connell versus Cowan in the face-off dot here to start the fourth. Good, clean win by Cowan, but that will be recovered by Puma. Tyler Puma gets it up to Dulong, who had to climb the ladder for that one, and dropping the shoulder into his attacking player. Gets it to Whitford. 15 seconds to work, goes around Dulong, does Whitford. Goes to Muir on the right side. Muir, good defense there from the Hurricane, but able to get a shot off was Muir. That's turned aside by McPhee. Grayson now has this ball in a strong left setup here for the Canes. Big outside shot from Glazebrook. Hits a body in.
Put some pressure on there, Mitch, trying to get a turnover.
Yep. Probably the one guy I wouldn't pressure is Alex Bouchard. He just does a lot well, you know what I mean?
He does all the mechanics and basics almost perfectly. 100%
Yeah,
of the time, right?
I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure if he's a D-Midi or an LSM at his school in the States.
He could play both.
That's exactly it.
I know he played for Team Nova Scotia many times. He was an LSM and a straight D. It doesn't matter what he is. He's got the speed to go up the field. He's also got the defensive post to stay back there. So he is an active defender in field with that 6-foot stick, no question.
Exactly, and he plays for the St. Lawrence University in Upper State New York. St. Lawrence was ranked 10th in the country, and I know Bouchard played a big role with them. And
Bouchard actually played against number 7, A.J. O'Connell, in the D2 division as well.
Right.
So they actually played against each other.
O'Connell was at Mars Hill University in South Carolina.
Which we also know Zach Harrigan was a part of.
Exactly. A big outside shot by Grayson. Turned aside by Cox. That was looked easy, but a nice save there from Noah Cox.
You know, there is another former still a Nova Scotia player playing in D2, if you can think of who that is. Liam McGraw.
Oh, exactly. And I always forget about Liam. You know, Liam kind of really came on the stage when I was in Ontario, and I didn't really necessarily get to see him when he was young, but man, I see him now. He is a fantastic lacrosse player.
He's playing out in Ontario and doing a great job out there.
And the Ontario Junior A playoffs going Orangeville Northman versus Oakville Buzz. Oakville actually up 2-0, lost 3-2 with the Orangemen coming back. Great pressure there from Forsyth, forces the turnover, and he draws a penalty. Great effort there from the young right-hander. He gets it over to the club.
Right now. You need that effort, that heart.
Well, exactly. That's how you win championships.
Exactly. Both these teams have feel like they've been there and know what it takes, and who's going to make the mistake first is the question.
Wheatley steps into that. That goes wide and over and back. Will get this power play to start. I'd like to mention early on in the Bandits Sackville series, I said it's been a while since Sackville's been to the dance, which is not true. They've been to the finals the last 2 years.
They have.
But they have not beat the Bandits, and that's kind of what I was getting at, is they have yet to dance with the Bandits and come out on the other side, and this could very well be their year.
I would say that in that series, there was making sure there was a statement in that
one. Yeah, the Wolves sent the message, and that's the thing is, like, I had some conversations with the Bandits staff, and the reason why the Wolves played so good is in direct correlation of how good the Bandits were the last 5 years.
100%.
They made the Wolves better. And, and then all of a sudden you don't have guys like Brett Draper and Jordy McKenna in the lineup who now play very good roles in the WLA and in the NLL. Those are very good lacrosse players.
The Bandits were definitely in a rebuilding year after losing quite a few seniors. Jordan McKenna, Brett Draper, two right there. That Jordan's playing in the NLL, and Brett's in with the Adirondacks out there.
Yeah, exactly.
in
doing
BC,
some great
doing
work.
some amazing things.
Playing for the Coquitlam Adirondacks of the WLA Senior A Lacrosse. Very proud of Brett Draper. And I know Jordy McKenna was all set to go out for the Oakville Rock Senior A team, but unfortunately they pulled out of the MSL due to the bug juice confusion.
We could be here for 3 hours talking about that one.
Normando over to Dulong. Dulong steps into that. That's turned aside by McPhee. The power play here has 40 seconds left to work.
We should note that Jordan did play for the Toronto Rock, though.
Exactly.
And was a big contributor to their playoff run and where they were.
I will say this. Undefeated with McKenna in the lineup, because they won the two against the 2 games late in the season, and the one playoff game McKenna dressed for, they did win.
Even that loss, though.
Oh,
overtime to Buffalo. We were very sad it was a 1 game because everybody wanted to see that go to 3.
There brings an argument with the NLL. Great save there from Noah Cox. I'd love to see best of 3 series minimum.
They used to do that, eh? They used to have best of 3 all the way through, but I think there was a challenge in attendance-wise, and there's a big cost to the NLL to fly players everywhere.
For sure.
So they decided not to. The NLL has changed, though, now. They have a lot of, they do the live streaming of road games. Before, there was none of that. So when your team went on the road in Game 2, living in Toronto and being a Rock fan, I didn't even know what happened. So hopefully we heard. I just know if I had a Game 3 to go to or not, right? So,
good job there by Forsyth again.
So there was a whistle at the back end that was called. I'm not sure what the call is, but I don't think the Wolves heard it and took a shot. Now, obviously, the Hurricanes are upset about that. Felt like it was a shot after the whistle, but...
And even the official, Chris Soucy, wasn't 100% confident of that whistle that he heard. I know it was a little missed blow.
Yeah, I know. Soucy had actually moved up to see if it was going to go in and make the call. So, the player's only looking in front of him at that moment, and so I think that's where the situation is. Now, obviously, they're discussing something here, and he's going over to the time box to say something, so I'm not exactly sure what's...
I do believe he said there might have been a problem with the clock that they had to fish. The Hurricanes bench calling for a draw ball, and that's something I always like doing. If I'm in a situation that I don't like, that I think I might get a call, I'm always going to ask for a draw ball, because it's like, okay, I could give you the draw ball.
Right. It's not one that's going to give an advantage to anyone, so we'll all agree with the draw ball.
Especially if Cowan is winning most of your draws. He's done a great job here.
Oh, he's been unbelievable in the draw.
Good loose ball battle in the corner. Looks like Wolves come out of it as Normando takes it right to the cage, gets the reset, and Dulong will pick up this rebound. Great effort for the Wolves, and Dulong wisely slowing it down. And speaking of those kids, Nova Scotia kids making impacts, I know Dulong will make an impact wherever he goes in the future.
Going to Canada Games in a few weeks, isn't he?
I'm excited for that Canada Games. Great roster Nova Scotia has. Oh, my, Cox with a beautiful save off of Francis Grayson on the doorstep. That loose ball recovered by the Hurricanes and taken by Allison. Allison gets it up to G. Holmes on top. Strong left set up here for the Canes. Holmes looking for a shot. Takes it. Oh, it just looks like...
Oh, no, waving it off for crease right in front there.
A beautiful save off the G. Holmes stop, but the rebound picked up by Owen Cox.
I'll tell you, Owen yelled all the way to the bench of that change that he was not in the crease.
Whitford drags the ball all the way up top, goes down to Forsyth. Forsyth gets it through McPhee, but not past the line.
That could have been a huge turning point. That's too many.
Oh my! And see, this is the thing: is the Hurricanes made that pass without looking at the bench. He just turned it past, and that was the confusion that left. Broussard trying to go low.
I think the back guy told him to turn around and get it, and they let him out the front.
Exactly. That's exactly what happened. That miscommunication there. But you just gotta live and die by that front door if you're gonna do that. You can't turn and
exactly. You just gotta, when you're going off, go off and go straight off and let the man on.
Exactly. Not your responsibility if they're gonna huck it at the bench.
He did huck it.
He did. Sure. Recovered here low by Holmes. Holmes loses a glove. Nope, sorry.
Gotta get that off.
Great save by the right elbow of Noah Cox. Hurricanes able to recover. As Kennedy gets it to the left side, Toe drag there from Allison. All over him was Bouchard. Good helping D from Barkhouse. They get it to the left side, or the right side, as Cox makes that save. Not sure where the rebound was.
That's the third in a row that both goalies have had a hard time figuring out where it went after the shot. You wonder if that'll come back on them later.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I know.
I say later in the game, there's 7 minutes left. There's a whole half to go here.
Well, we never know with that the mentioned OT. Whitford gets it on net, but that is picked up by the Hurricanes. Lacroix all over the transition player. Great slash there from Lacroix.
Turnover.
Great turnover, a forced turnover there at the half. That will, efforts like that is how you win championships. As Normando flips it to Dulong.
Both these sides are like, they know what's on the line here. There's
100%.
no question about that.
Yep. Dulong to Broussard. Broussard goes over the top, has a lane off the falling Hurricane. That rebound recovered by Lacroix. Back up to Broussard. Dulong getting cross-checked hard down low. Muir misses wide. And that's going to go out of bounds, be a back over.
You mentioned the aforementioned overtime. I feel like we're almost there.
Well, I
the defense is so good right now. I feel like this next one's a huge goal right at this moment.
Yeah, you're bang on with that one because every goal counts right now.
I mean, we've had 4 in, almost 45 minutes.
And there
it is. Skirmish, but he grabbed him. That's it. Was that Ben Allison there?
We're going to get a second look here.
Just a shot through the screen there.
Ball is down low with Allison. Allison just gets that little pick from Dylan Campbell. It comes around it, able to squeak it through Cox.
I think Cox thought it was going far side, and it got put in. He couldn't quite see it through the pick there, and was able to put it in down low on the short side. And I think even Cox was surprised about where it went on that one. So
great effort there from the Hurricanes.
I don't know if you saw that after, but Ben didn't like the little shot that was given to him after. I think every Hurricane grabbed him to make sure he didn't hit anybody because nobody wants that extra 2 minutes at this point.
Not at this point. As you just hit the nail on the head. Now we are in an overtime situation pretty much. The Wolves desperate to tie this up in the remaining 5 minutes. Shocker, Puma comes up with the loose ball, takes it right to the cage. Great attempt there. That's going to get recovered by West. As Puma will change now. Glazebrook almost following him all the way to the bench to make sure. Normando with a little lane here. He goes wide on the short side. Recovered by Wheatley. Broussard, 8 seconds here on the shot clock. Shoots through traffic. That's going to hit the stick of Gage McPhee.
He was hoping for that turn of the stick right there. I saw you wince like, uh-oh.
Yeah, you got to put a little more power on it than that one if you want to get it to turn the stick.
Hurricanes definitely going to use the whole 30 here now with being up by that goal, trying to limit the number of possessions.
For sure, clock management.
Do it right. There are about 6 possessions left in the game if they can hold them here.
Exactly that. Lynch.
This is my favorite moments in minor games. The coach yells, you got to use the whole 30, and somebody shoots with like 20 seconds to go.
You minor. That still happens in senior.
I was doing a game, I can't remember what level, I think it was U17, and the coach was like, use the whole 30, and the kid literally wound up and shot it.
The worst is when you're yelling, pull it out, pull it out, pull it out, and they go in and score, and then you look like the idiot, but really.
It's the right call was to pull it
exactly.
out. Exactly.
Great movement here from the Wolves as Baird almost beats Gage McPhee on that one. Oh, great job by Forsyth. Again, his third forced turnover. Cannot come up with the loose ball.
Hey,
my, good job.
That's how you're going to get it back. You need that pressure to get those extra chances on the offensive side.
Third time that he has forced the ball over, and he's not a big man, not a big kid by any means.
He's just watching the stick and right in front of it. Like he's just
getting his stick in the passing lane. And then, he tries the cheeky, sneaky little goal line shot, negating the hard work he just put in.
I would have pulled that out, as you mentioned earlier, and tried to reset that for some the offensive guys.
Sure.
He thought he saw something there, so.
All over Holmes. Holmes turned aside by the left side of Cox. Rebound recovered by Allison. Allison over the top. Beautiful leg, save with the stick.
Save.
And that's going to be a crease call there. Huge job by Noah Cox with 3 minutes, 25 seconds left in the fourth and final quarter here from the Sackville Arena. I say final, even though I'm uncertain.
Not yet. It's the fourth. That's what we're going to say until this is over. It's been so back and forth.
Dulong in the middle.
Which I'm loving watching both of the benches in this. Anytime there's a call, the other one does not like it. One of them likes it, one of them doesn't. Doesn't matter.
No. That is the truth. But I get it. Playoff lacrosse, you need a lazy pass picked off by Murphy. Murphy all alone. Big save there from Cox.
What a moment.
2 minutes, 45 seconds. Could have been the dagger.
Fifth-year senior stepping up and making a big stop. His team's got to respond now. That is a huge stop. That energy's got to be up.
That is all you can ask for of your goaltender. The pass intended for Dulong goes off the boards and recovered by the Canes. And quickly up to Cutter Devine. Devine with Dulong on his back. Goes for the shot. Turned aside again by Noah Cox.
2 breakaways in a row.
2 breakaways in the last 3 minutes of this tightly contested game. Broussard. As I heard the familiar voice of Connor Dubrail over on the door of the Hurricanes. Not happy with the shot choice there from his young lacrosse player. Wheatley goes over the top. Now on his wrong side, will flip to Broussard. 5 seconds here for Broussard. Pick from Bouchard. He goes over the top on that one. That goes wide. Recovered by Campbell.
140 to go. 140.
And a bounce pass to a blind bounce pass in transition to
now they're not getting back.
That is...
they got numbers if they push. No, they're going to reset it.
135. Sackville still has the timeout, as do the Canes, as they did not take their second half timeout.
They're talking about goalie on the bench here. The coach is having a discussion about it.
A shot from Whitford goes wide. Will stay on their half as Forsyth recovers.
There's a second ball on the floor. Noah has one.
Good catch, as that orange ball has definitely been there since warm-up. You know what I mean? Thank goodness nobody hit unless it fell down after that last one hit the roof.
So you got 1:10 left to go. Hurricanes ball. The Wolves still have their timeout. They are going to get another chance with the ball for sure. They just need to have a tough defensive battle here.
Exactly. Here, final minute of the fourth quarter. Hurricanes playing the clock management as Grayson goes up to Allison. Good pick there from Grayson. Goes over to G. Does Allison. 5 seconds here to work. Good job there by Barkhouse and Puma to force an outside
38
shot.
seconds.
And we're going to get the timeout here from the Wolves bench. 38.6 seconds left.
So, Mitch, in this moment, what are you telling the Wolves here? What are you designing up here?
If I'm them, I'm gonna work that ball on the left side. I'm gonna go probably Ryland Bayard in that top righty shot and go back and forth to Baird and then skip down to Muir on the crease and try to get Muir, because I really like how he's attacking that cage from that far side, and he has the wherewithal when he has to go fake short side, go far side, whereas a lot of these players will fake far side, go far side, but if your fake worked, the goalie would be on the far side. You know what I mean?
I like the call to Muir. He's been very strong on the crease. He's that big body that can almost work himself inside, get the stick position, be able to that. And he has a dynamite quick stick. And with the 6 guys, they can't cover everyone.
Exactly.
So someone's standing open and trying to make that move. I also have a question. Does Jay Tishmark have any nails left as he's watching this one at home?
So. I don't think
How many times has he screamed at the TV multiple times throughout this one?
But, he's got to be happy with the effort from his Wolves as they look to draw even here. 38.6 seconds. What did Coach Marsh or Brassard or McKay draw up? And they go to Muir. Oh, my goodness. They were listening
Mitch, they were channeling you right there.
Yeah,
still alive.
Great
They
attempt.
still got time. They got 23 on the clock, so a little behind the shot clock. Missed it again. It's going back.
That's going to go
this
all the way
going to go back over if he doesn't get it. No matter what, it's going back to the Hurricanes.
Allison
with
able
a chance
to
on
empty netter from Allison. A 6-4 lead here. That should be the finals with 9.8 seconds left to work.
This is just a hustle play. I mean, it's going back over. They know that. They're trying to get the goalie back out and just hustles. Allison hustles all the way down, picks it up. Big goal there. I got to say, though, they made, I'd say, almost the perfect call and hit the bar. I mean,
I know. He had him beat. He just couldn't get it over
There's
that.
nothing else you can say. Sometimes you make the right call and it just doesn't go in, right? And they made the call. That's how close this has been. Game of inches, right? Like
100%.
If that's a little farther inside, that goes in the net, and we're at 5-5.
Exactly.
Bounces off the wall, comes back, and there's an open net because they're trying to get that extra attacker and kind of sealing the deal here. There's only 4 seconds left. It should be an easy one to finish off.
Puma gets that loose ball off the Dulong face-off win. And there you have it. As game 1 is in the books, the Halifax Hurricanes beat the hometown Sackville Sportswheels Wolves 6-4. A great effort here by both squads. Nothing to hang your head at. Just make adjustments if you're the Wolves.
I got to say, I don't know how many adjustments you got to make. That was just, there's a one break, and it went in the Hurricanes' way right there at the end. Best player on the floor was Noah Cox in my mind.
Noah Cox had a fantastic game, yep.
Gage McPhee, awesome at the other end as well. Both goalies were unbelievable. I mean, 6-4, one was an open netter.
Yeah.
This is a 5-4 game with a bar that would have tied it in the last 30 seconds.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. I mean, a great lacrosse from both sides. I know for guys like us that don't have a dog in the race right now. What more could you ask for from a game of lacrosse?
I got to say, it's $5 to get in here. They got triple that value, hands down, watching this game. This was back and forth, and it is like 100 degrees in this building, and not a single person left because it was so good. Now, it's down 1. The Wolves are going to go in the room and say it isn't over. Like they've been in this situation before, and they're going to have to respond in the next one and get a big one. But it's a quick turnaround because we're going on Sunday nights. 7:30 change. It was originally at 4, but there's a game that's been moved, so we're now at 7:30 at the Spryfield Arena. So big game for the Wolves. They got to respond after this one and get that extra one in there. And I know the Hurricanes are going to be looking to put the dagger in at that point.
And if you can't make it out to the rink, tune into the stream. That's been the ECJLL first game of the finals for us. I'm Mitch Hannigan.
This is Brendan Smithson.
And thanks for tuning in.